What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video I'm going to be taking a look at the JC Wings June or July 2025 releases. So these are labeled as June releases, but obviously we're well into July at this point, so I'm just going to go with a combined June-July releases is what I'll refer to it in this video, but it'll be labeled as a June release in the thumbnail and the title. So surprisingly, as we go ahead and get started with the releases, we do have a Cessna 172 in this case, November 3015 Echo. I believe that is the first time that JC has ever released a Cessna aircraft, at least a Cessna 172 specifically, because these typically are from Gemini jets under their Gemini General Aviation brand, typically released for like Sporty's flight school and all that. Typically these are like private operators and all that. Some flight schools are in there as well. They did one out of Minnesota a couple years ago, which I kind of want to get, but who knows, maybe I'll get it at some point. And then our 1 to 200 releases, as we start off up here at the top, we have a Flybe Embraer 195 with the nice purple livery. Then we have I don't even know what airline this is. It looks like an ATR 72. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it because I'm probably going to butcher it, but there are text lists, so I'll pull those up in just a moment. Then we have a Luftwaffe German Air Force A321neo. We have another Mexicana 727, and this one has the red tail on it. Then we have a Canadian A320. Air China 737-700, I believe. And then an Etihad A340-600, one of the F1 Grand Prix special liveries. Not sure what year it is because they did a different one for every year. They just swapped out the year, of course. MD-90 house livery, very nice. And then a China Eastern A300. We have an ANA Airbus A380. This is just straight out of the factory primer with just the black nose cone and the tail fin painted. Then we have this really lovely Convair 580. It looks like a New Zealand registered one that has an eagle on the front. And then the Boeing Eco Demonstrator 777 in here, very nice. And a couple flaps down releases to round out the 1 to 200 stuff. We have a Qantas 7879 and the Qatar 777-300ER UEFA Champions League special livery. So there's our 1 to 200 releases, and now we'll take a look at the 1 to 400, which we have another Iberia Regional CRJ 1000, Lufthansa, Embraer 190, 727 in here. I'm guessing it's one of the Boeing testbed ones, just based on the little text on the tail there. And we have a Qantas Freight A330-200, SkyTeam China Eastern A346, and then sorry about that there. We have a Condor 752, partially blocked by the little Instagram photo caption. I didn't get the second slide, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But there's the Condor there in the old livery, the 752. Asiana Cargo 763. Then we have a Malaysia Manchester United A330-300. SAS Scandinavian A350-900, new livery, very nice. And then a Qatar 333, this is the UEFA one once again. So there's our part 1 for 1 to 400. And now I'll go ahead and pull up the 1 to 200 posts, or the second part of 1 to 400. This will be a little bit cropped down here, but there's the 3 on the left. Japan 333 with a flaps down. Rida Air A321neo, the updated livery. And then an Air Asia Gold A320neo. On the right, we have what looks to be some sort of A321neo, just an all-yellow one, and then a Belavia A330-200. So those are the JC Wings June releases, technically, I guess, because that's just how it is. So I don't know what else to really say with that. So just taking a look at the list, we have some of the planes that I didn't really identify right away. So there's the Argini Arigny Air Services. Looks like a British airline of some kind. And then there's a Japan 333. That was the last flight because they have retired at least that specific registration, and they are planning to phase them out in favor of the A350-1000. Then there was a SeaWorld of California Southwest 735 in there as well, which I don't think made the actual list. Yeah, it did not, so I'm guessing they omitted it for licensing reasons or something, I'm not sure. And then that Convair 580, that's operated by Air Chatham's. And it is from New Zealand, so it looks interesting. And then otherwise, it looks like everything else is run-of-the-mill, so I didn't miss anything there. And then in 1 to 400, yeah, nothing that I missed there, and no other releases that were just added on there. But then that A321, that's a Junyao A321, the Legoland Shanghai Resort Special Livery. So I think that is a new resort that just opened over there. Does look really nice, though I don't see much in the way of Lego represented on that livery, but it is kind of hard to see with the way the plane is banked in that shot. I don't know. I don't think they had just a side-on shot like they do with everything else, or at least a CGI made of that livery yet. And then, yeah, not much else. And that A321 from Variety Air, that was an XLR with a French test registration still applied to it. So it has not been officially delivered to the airline yet. And then everything else is run-of-the-mill there, so not much to report on, but a solid release from JC nonetheless. Won't get anything out of it. Maybe that 727 House of Re if I didn't blow my budget airliners, but that's a whole nother discussion. I know they did announce Spirit of Delta a couple months ago, but I don't think that has made any sort of progress, which, you know, I can't say I'm surprised on that, because that's just how JC is. It can take them up to several years to send out a particular plane. But as for me personally, I did get the Gemini rendition of Spirit of Delta, so I am perfectly satisfied there. But I will be eager to see how JC performed on that. And as for the other releases, pretty good. Pretty typical, I would say, of JC, with a fair share of diversity across the board, with a good amount of European stuff, some US stuff in there, even if it is a little more obscure than anything. And a nice surprise introduction there of the Cessna 172 on JC's behalf. So first time that I've seen them release a Cessna 172 under their brand as opposed to the Gemini General Aviation branding. But that'll do it for me with the JC Wings release video for what is technically a June batch, but I'm going to call it a June/July at this rate because, as mentioned, we're already well into July. But overall, a good set for sure and one worth covering. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.